is the notion that you have to have money to make money legitimate?
All right, so I would say there are two levels of have money to make money, and here's what they are. The first level is, do you have enough money to get the education you need to get a job that pays you for the rest of your life and allows you to build the nest egg you need to retire?
Yeah.
Because if you don't meet that minimum threshold, you're going to be stuck at Burger King forever and you're going to get screwed. So you have to meet somebody in college to have whatever you need in order to get an education to
not that
participate in the
Privilege.
economy.
You're saying you have to have privilege.
I'm not that fucked. I'm a
Well-
white man with a college degree.
I mean,
And so
it's
about
literally a certain amount of money that you can give anybody and then they can meet that. But,
Privilege.
well, but you could be white and then have not any money and still not be able to learn this stuff.
Sure. I'm
Anyway.
not saying white means privilege. I'm saying you have to have privilege.
doesn't hurt.
I feel like the background noise is not allowing us to then
It's
be able
okay.
to put this on YouTube.
And the second level of having
find
money to
that
make
out.
money is basically it's the threshold where you have enough money growing in your investments that the amount of money that your investments are growing by is actually somewhere in the neighborhood of your income. And when I say somewhere in the neighborhood, I don't mean that it's equal to your income. I mean that perhaps it's 10% of your income, such that in 10 years it will be equal to your income, or in 15 years it will be equal to your income. So that definition is more or less like, do your investments have enough momentum?
You're
where
saying like your
financial-
annual yield is 10% of your income?
Yeah.
Nowhere close to that.
How do you get there? How do you get there?
You get there by saving a shit ton of money, and you do that by spending very little and by making as much as possible. So basically, you have to get your savings rate up as high as possible.
I think you're saying that you have to be completely cheap to make any money.
Well, so that's
He's drinking water
There's the classic
and not
question
getting
is,
food.
what's the difference between cheap and frugal?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And I think that really has to do with does your are you meeting your minimums in terms of long-term retirement, healthcare expenses, things like that. And the second thing is, does your spending align with your goals in life? Because people who are cheap will actually not align their spending with their goals in life. They will underspend in areas that are actually in line with what they want, but they're just impulsively underspending.
Are you saying that it matters what your goals are?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Cheap people want
Whereas-
to be the richest man in the secretary.
Whereas
in the
a
cemetery.
frugal person will simply say, these are my goals, and I am strategically not spending in this area that's not a high priority, but I do actually spend in areas that are aligned with my goals. So a frugal person might still spend a good amount on their kids' education if that's where their goals are.
How do you find those goals?
You have to adopt a philosophy of life,
Yeah.
and there's a whole bunch of those.
Check
You
it out,
could
video.
kind of, there's a bunch of those. So it's more like a religion thing. But there's also like the Greek philosophies that you could look into. What is the name of it? The Stoic philosophy, ascetic philosophy, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, two levels. First level of have money to make money is having enough money to get an education. Second level is that if you just let that money grow, within, I don't know, say 10 or 20 years, you would be financially self-sufficient based on the nest egg that develops. Second question was, how much does a credit score actually matter? And in my opinion, strong opinion, credit score is a huge distraction from the number that actually matters. The number that actually matters is net worth. And you need to be planning your entire financial life around knowing your current net worth, knowing how fast you're growing your net worth, and knowing what net worth you're going to hit by what age, so that you can do the things that you want to do with your life, whether that's retire at 55 with tons of money, or retire at 45 with just enough money, or never retire but also never have to worry about healthcare expenses. And the final question was, I forgot.
Realistic definition of financially stable.
Realistic definition of financially stable. All right, so the classic definition of retired and financially independent within the early retirement community is, do you have the cash flows to cover your necessities, the things you need to live and be happy? All right, so we can layer on top of that, obviously early in life, you're not going to have those cash flows without working, right? So now you have this tension between you need to work to get money, but old age and sickness and not being able to work is coming. And so financial stability is then kind of like, how close are you to financial independence, and how many more years left of good health, according to statistical probability, do you have that you could continue to work and make money? And so I would say, I mean, just broadly speaking, I would say that you need to have a financial plan where by age 55 you would have enough money that you could stop working and still survive. And I don't mean like go on vacations to Europe and be totally happy with everything. I just mean that you would not be living in poverty if you stopped working at 55. And that's just because if you look at like tables of when people take disability or tables of like health, things start getting dicey in terms of health in 2018 after age 55. So, yep, that's it. Have a fabulous evening.